Okay, it's been about a week since I fed fed the hungry bin last. Last time there was no liquid. This time there is a little bit of liquid. I looked in here. And there's also some springtails in the water. I did not put any extra liquid last time. In fact, I thought it was pretty dry, but I guess it wasn't. All right, like before, I'm anticipating some mites on the inside of the lid, and maybe even some rogue worms. Rogue worms, however, I'm going to see if I can try to identify them. I'll, take them off the cover and see if there are any different species in my bin. I thought they were pure red worms, and they may be, or they may not be. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out. All right, here we go. Okay. Yes, as anticipated, there's mites there and some rogue worms. Let's see. Can't quite tell if they're adult or not. But they look like the same species to me. Like I said, I'll take them off. Oh, here's one trying to get out. Put it down. Put them down back inside. Well, I'm going to take the worms off first and clean up the mites before I dig into the bin. Alright, these are the worms that were on the lid for the most part. There was one on the side and I looked like he was trying to get out. Couldn't tell if he was just juvenile, but it looks like I do have some blue worms in here, along with, I think these are red wigglers. I'm not positive, but that one for sure is a blue. Can't tell if that one's a blue. This and this one are darker colors than the others. Oh, maybe they're all, I don't know, I can't tell. Maybe they're all blues and I just don't know it. Or maybe just these that are the random ones. I know they look kind of young. I will look at them a little bit more later. I'm going to cover them up for now while I take care of the bin. I lied. Look at their behavior. And their coloring. Okay, I'll turn it off now. Promise. Don't want to torture these worms anymore. Okay, I've cleaned off the inside. As you know, I wipe the red mites down with a piece of toilet paper and then just throw it in the toilet. There weren't as many mites this time as there was last week. All right, let's see. I guess we'll pull this up. Mold. Interesting. I've never had mold before. But then again, I've never put as much. I think it was noodles or something like that. Now to me that looks more like bedding, not so much food. this is gone from the little tomatoes. Some beetles. More moldy schmoldies. Let's see if they're hard. Interesting that I would get food gathered, or not food, water, leachate gathered underneath the bin, but upside the bin on top, looks dry. But I guess it's not as dry. Maybe just these things that are moldy are dry. The worms are getting into it though. Yeah, this is hard. All right, it's moist underneath. Sorry about that. My iPad quit all of a sudden, and it gets some space off of it. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to feed this week. I may water. I don't know. I haven't decided. It is kind of dry up here, or I may just water. I think I'll just water the just a little bit of these cardboards, because it is pretty moist down here underneath. It is very moist. It's really nice. So since it is kind of dry right up here, I will just water that, and I'll get right back to you. Alright, so I just watered all the moldy pieces, and on top of this, see what it does for the next week or so. I can always come back and during the middle of the week and wet the cardboard more if I see it needs it. It's a little damp, not wet, from the condensation created from being covered, but otherwise it looks good. I know the worms are in there. Now I know I have blues in here as well. I think I will keep the blues out and start a bin with blues only. See what happens with that. I want to try and keep it pure if I can. I know this bin will not be. But anyway, okay. See you next week. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Alright, back to these worms. Oh, I think they are all blue worms. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to observe them a little bit longer. I know especially these two are the darker. I don't know if you can see it on here, but they're darker darker in color. However, these are thinner than the red worms. But they still look like juveniles to me, so it's kind of hard to determine. So I think what I'll do is I will put these, give them a little bit of bedding, and then wait till they get a little bit older and determine whether they are or are not blues or reds. I'm tending to think blues. What do you think? All right, let me cover them up. Come back with some bedding.